Welcome to day 2, cPanel and WordPress installation. In this lesson, we are going to learn what cPanel is. We're going to learn what WordPress is and why you should be using WordPress. And I'm going to show you how to access your cPanel dashboard and install WordPress. So let's get started. With cPanel and WordPress, you don't need to write a single line of code to design beautiful websites and manage the technical details of your website. Throughout this entire training, you're not going to be writing a single line of code, and I promise you're going to be able to design wonderful and amazing websites. So, what is cPanel? cPanel is a human-friendly web-based interface that lets you conveniently manage many website hosting services, like creating and managing domain email addresses. Remember, we talked about that in the last lesson. And creating subdomains also. We also touched subdomain in day 1. With cPanel, you can also check your website metrics and backup, security and database setup, and install softwares like WordPress. Note this, if you're a website owner, then be sure to keep your username and password secure. This is important for keeping your website information and settings safe. And that was why in the previous lesson, in day 1, I had to cover the login details I got from the hosting company, and you also need to keep those data secure. Immediately you receive your login credentials, there will be a link from the hosting company which you can use to access the cPanel dashboard. But also, you can type in your website address, the full domain name, followed by a colon, and then put 2083. This will automatically redirect you to your cPanel login dashboard. So either you try this approach or you just click on the link that was sent to you from the hosting company. Now, what is WordPress? I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it. In fact, some of you know what it is. You're just waiting to get to know how to use it and how to be perfect at using it to build and develop websites, which is what you're going to learn in this training. WordPress is the most flexible and most powerful tool you can use to build and maintain any type of website, from a professional blog to a fully featured business website or even e-commerce stores, without any knowledge of coding. Remember, I stated that clearly. You won't be writing a single line of code, and you'll be able to build e-commerce stores, business websites, and even personal website for your personal brands. Another thing, unlike traditional desktop software, WordPress runs online in the cloud. There's nothing to install on your computer, so all you need is just your internet connection, your mobile phone, or your desktop computer. But I always recommend your desktop. If you're actually trying to build a website, then you can use your mobile for update and posting and whatever, which I'm still going to cover in later sessions of the training. Why WordPress? Why do you have to use WordPress? The first is WordPress is free and open source. You don't need to pay for WordPress. All you need to do is just install the software from your cPanel dashboard and get started. Secondly, WordPress is extensible. There are thousands of themes, and I mean themes, these are already structured, already designed website layout that all you need to do is just install and edit the text or the images or the features to suit what you want. And also there are plugins. Instead of you having to write codes to perform certain functions, there are plugins, more than 50,000 plugins free available for you that you can install to help you perform certain functions, like getting people's email, like creating pop-ups, like a search engine optimization, a whole lot. Third, WordPress is easy to install, which I'm going to show you in the practical class very soon. Then WordPress is flexible. You're never going to be locked to a specific set of functions. You can always adapt and evolve. It grows with the trend. It meets what people are demanding as technology keeps evolving. And last, it's easy to find WordPress help. So now we are moving to the practical class, how to access your cPanel dashboard and install WordPress. Are you ready? So this is what the cPanel login page looks like. I'm going to enter my username here, and I'm going to enter the password I was sent here. So just, I'm waiting while you do that. I'm going to log in. All right, so this is what my cPanel dashboard looks like. So let me show you a few things around the cPanel dashboard. See, you have this particular widget that handles files, anything related to file, probably file manager. So anytime I talk about file manager, you know where to go. You have disk usage, you can check your disk usage here, then images, web disk, backup wizard, all these you can play with. Later, I'm going to tell you about how to go about the backup settings and all whatnot. And a little bit down here, we have this widget that handles everything related to databases, PHP admin, MySQL. Actually not going to go into that now because I promised no coding throughout this course. So you see everything that has to do with your domain here. So the domain aliases, if you want to create subdomain, you see this is where you create it. If you have any issue with your zone DNS editing, this is where you come and you rectify that. Probably later on in the lesson, we're going to create a subdomain and actually play with some of these things if you're interested. Then we have the email areas. You see email accounts, you can set autoresponders, track delivery, anything that has to do with your email on this particular widget. And then we have your metrics. You want to track your visitors, check your resource usage, metrics, bandwidth, everything about metrics here. Then we have security. This is where you set up your security, IP blocker, SSL, hotlink protection. All these are for advanced users. You need to understand some things about APIs and integrations. Then we have softwares. This is where we're going to install our WordPress. Then we have the advanced. This is more like the advanced for the advanced users. So track DNS and stuff. Then preference, you want to change your password, contact information, user, change style. Then we have the Softaculous app installer. This is where you can install your WordPress, Joomla, PrestaShops. So the list goes on, as you can see. Dolphins, MyDB. Then talking about categories, you can check here. If you click here, you'll see software that has to do with blogs, and software that have to do with portals. You want to create forums, you can find softwares for that here, image galleries, social networking, ads management, and the list goes on also. So, not to waste much of your time, now we have to install our WordPress. So I'm just going to click on this to get started. So WordPress version 4.5.2 and 5.3.4, all these are the available versions of WordPress. This is the current version as at the time of recording of this training. See, it was released on the 10th of June 2020. So we have the overview, features. You can go into this to read more if you're interested. List goes on with screenshots, demos, ratings. Let's see. And you can check the reviews and add yours also. So I'm just going to come here and click on this drop-down menu, click on quick install or custom install, but I won't do that. I'm just going to click on I'm going to install WordPress now. I can select the version of WordPress I want to install, but I'll always go for the latest version. So you can decide if you want to use HTTPS or HTTP. So HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is all about how secure your data is going to be online. You can see if your site has SSL, then please choose the HTTPS protocol. This site doesn't have SSL yet, but we're still going to get SSL for it. SSL is secure socket location, and it's to actually make your website more secure for users. If you're going to be collecting people's credit card or details and everything, you need to use HTTPS. It makes it more secure. That's when people log into your domain, either the address bar will change color to green, or you'll see a padlock sign at the top left corner of the address bar. So I'm going to select the latest version here. I'm going to choose my installation URL, HTTPS, and I'm going to go with, and I'm going to clear this out. So there's something we call directory. This is where WordPress is actually going to install itself. So as it is like this, it's actually going to create a folder called WP, and that's where my software is going to be installed. If you delete this, it's going to be installed at the root folder. If you don't understand this, please just leave it as it is. I'll explain later in another video. So I'm going to give my blog a name, and I'm going to call it a skills challenge, and I'm going to write a description for it. The idea is to actually have a website where people can come to and take on some daily challenge that can actually transform their lives. So I'm going to write, let's call it daily skill challenge. And so we've decided the site name, daily skill challenge, and the site description, every day is an opportunity to learn a skill. Every day is an opportunity to learn a relevant skill. So admin username, this is sensitive information. You're going to choose an admin username. I'm going to write mine. And I'm going to select a password. So I just set my password, and the email, I'm going to leave an email I'm going to leave this email at admin@myskillschallenge.com. I could actually come into this and change that later. Then select language, of course, English language. Now let me check if there's Yoruba. Okay, very, very nice. Okay, yes, we don't have Yoruba, so we'll just go with English. So do I want to limit login attempts? Yes. Do I want classic editor also? Not really. So, but for the purpose of this training, I'm going to check classic editor. So I'm not going to check this because it's going to make things complicated for you. What it actually does is that it helps you manage other WordPress sites from one single dashboard. So then we have the advanced options. So I'm just going to come into here. One of the things I will encourage you always do in this advanced option is the backup settings. I always like to back up every month. Let's say you can select weekly, in fact daily, depends on what you intend to do on the website. So once a month is okay, then you have a backup rotation of 3. So then selecting, this is where we're going to select our theme. But for now, I'm just going to select any theme. Yeah, I think day 4 is about WordPress themes. So we're going to go in depth about themes, and I'm going to recommend the best theme for you. I'm going to tell you more about themes, different themes that are applicable to different sectors, themes for personal brand, themes for business, themes for e-commerce, a whole lot. We're going to be dissecting themes generally. So for now, I'm just going to select one of these themes here. Let's just select this, and you can check through your details again. Here you can actually enter another email address. I always do this if I'm installing WordPress for a particular client. So I just send in their email address here. They will also get the installation details for the website, so they can log in and do whatever they want also. So we're not doing that here. I'm just going to click on install. Please always check through the details again and make sure nothing is left out. Click on install. So there we go. We have our WordPress installed. You can see, congratulations, the software was installed successfully. WordPress has been successfully installed. and you can actually tweet this to announce to your friends that okay, you now have a website running. So this is your URL. This administrative URL is what you're going to use to log in into your WordPress account itself, not this cPanel dashboard, your WordPress dashboard itself. So when you click on this link, this is where it's going to take you. So from here, you will now enter your WordPress username that you've created and the password that you created and click on login. So here we go. This is our WordPress dashboard. And we're going to learn and understand how this dashboard operates and how we can adjust it to suit our own settings. So let's check what we've done actually. Let's click on this link to check if we have a website that is live. Wow. All right, so this is the theme we selected. See, daily skill challenge. Every day is an opportunity to learn a relevant skill. So this is the theme we've selected. This is what it looks like. So, wow. Welcome back from the practical class. I hope you've learned something of value. And that will be the end of today's lesson on cPanel and WordPress installation. In the next class, we're going to be talking about your website objectives and features. We're going to be talking about why you need a website and the features you need for your website. I'm going to show you and explain that there are some features that are specific to some industries. This is a lesson you don't want to miss. The whole functionality of your website, the layout, the structure, all depends on your website objectives and the features you've included in your website. So you don't want to miss this class. I'll see you in day 3, where I'll be discussing website objectives and features.